Between the words that are spoken and the words that are heard, may the Spirit of God be at work. Sometimes, when I first read a passage from the Bible, I wonder if it has anything to do with me, with us in the 21st century. We are rational children of the Enlightenment, and some things just strain credibility. Like today's gospel reading. What does it have to do with us? This morning we heard in the Gospel of Mark the story of Jesus teaching and of causing an unclean spirit to come out of a man. Was this an exorcism? It sounds like it. But if we start digging in about exorcisms and did they really happen and do they still happen and what disease did this man have, was he mentally ill, was he physically ill, we will find ourselves going down a deep and unhelpful rabbit hole. We need a broader view, a higher and deeper look at these few verses of Mark. This is the first public act of Jesus in the Gospel of Mark. And in each Gospel, the first act of Jesus gives us insight into the theme of the Gospel. In Matthew, Jesus is the teacher, the new Moses. In Luke, he heals and proclaims good news to the poor. In John, he creates unexpected abundance. In Mark, Jesus' first public act is to oppose a demon. Mark tells us about the authority of Jesus. Mark depicts Jesus as the one uniquely authorized, commissioned, or empowered to declare and institute the reign of God. Mark tells us that with this authority, Jesus will oppose and confront the powers of evil. The people in the synagogue were amazed at the authority of Jesus' teaching. And the word authority can also be translated as power. They were bowled over by the power of Jesus' words. It was not the kind of preaching they were used to. And it wasn't just what he was saying, but how he was teaching. That sense that there was something about this man that drew them to believe what he taught. Just as everyone thought that they couldn't be more astounded, a man with an unclean spirit came in, and the spirit confronted Jesus. It wasn't the unnamed man who addressed Jesus. That man was in the thrall of a demon, bound by the demon. The demon cried out, "What do you have to do with us, Jesus of Nazareth? Have you come to destroy us? I know who you are, the Holy One of God." No one in the crowd seemed to know who Jesus is. But the unclean spirit knew, and it was terrifying. The spirit spoke. No, the spirit shrieked, using a plural personal pronoun, us. What do you have to do with us? It's as if multiple powers of darkness had made their home in this man. But the demon recognized Jesus. Was the unclean spirit afraid? Was it challenging Jesus? Was it saying, "I know who you are, but you can't defeat me"? Jesus would have none of this, and with a very few words, he silenced the demon and banished it from the man. It wasn't just the meaning of the words of Jesus that made these folk amazed the folks that were gathered there. It was what his words accomplished, what they actually precipitated, that had authority as well. With only words, no magic spell, no enchantments, Jesus defeated evil. The man with the evil spirit was set free. The man was released from bondage by the power of love. Just words. And whose word spoke the whole of creation into being? And who is Jesus but the Word made flesh? So now we are approaching what Mark is writing about. Jesus is God incarnate. The scene in the synagogue is a cosmic encounter between goodness and evil, between the power of God and love and the power of evil and hate. It is the Exodus story, freedom from bondage, the return from exile story, the resurrection story. Mark tells us this story of cosmic confrontation and freedom first, because it is at the heart of his gospel and at the heart of the gospel story that we are invited to live into and through. We are still in the season of Epiphany. It's a season devoted to celebrating and considering the means by which Christ becomes visible and known to the world. So where are we still amazed by Jesus' authority, by his teachings and deeds' potential to overturn our assumptions about what is possible? Where can we see souls set free from destructive tendencies and powers that we thought were beyond anyone's control? How are you, or me, or us released from bondage by the power of love? I'm sure that many of you have experienced these epiphanies. An addict or an alcoholic in a family who finally gets sober. A vaccine against COVID that would normally take years to develop is now available. Thousands and thousands of people marching in the street because Black Lives Matter and because they love our planet. Healed relationships, kindness, courage, the courage to stand for justice even against the odds. Theologian Cornel West says that justice is what love looks like in public. Mark tells us that Jesus has come to oppose all the forces that prevent the children of God from living the life that God desires for us. And that message matters because it is still the case. God wants the most for us from this life, and God stands in opposition to anything that robs us of the joy and community and purpose for which we were created. This is what this story has to do with us.